It's a place where the lights stay on 24/7, where within those giant chain-link cages, men, women, and children huddle together awaiting their fate. Caught crossing into the U.S. illegally and brought to this detention center in Texas for processing. Some call the place Ursula after its street address. Others label it in Spanish, La Perrera, the dog kennel. These images provided by the U.S. government show an orderly circumstance, but audio said to have been smuggled from one such center and given to the investigative journalism group ProPublica signals something more harrowing. Subtitled from Spanish by ProPublica, a voice said to be a Border Patrol agent then makes a joke.
Bueno, aquí tenemos una orquesta.
Such detention centers have become the focal point in an intensifying debate over how the U.S. now deals with illegal crossings. A new directive by the Trump administration, zero tolerance, is to prosecute all such migrants criminally, which means by law, parents and children must be separated. The directive to prosecute has sparked broad outrage from Democrats and some prominent Republicans. Former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly calls it all unacceptable. Said former First Lady Laura Bush, it's shameful.
But just remember, a country without borders is not a country at all.
But today, Donald Trump stood firm.
The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility. Won't be. You look at what's happening in Europe, you look at what's happening in other places. We can't allow that to happen to the United States, not on my watch.
Trump's Homeland Security Secretary today said the children are being well treated. There is no plan to ease up.
We will enforce every law we have on the books to defend the sovereignty and security of the United States.
Meanwhile, Adrian, the crossings, the arrests, and the family separations continue.
So, Paul, is anyone even near a fix, something everyone can agree on?
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's a mess. People are fleeing terrible situations in Central America. An overwhelming number are showing up at the U.S. border. Trump's position is that you can't just let them in without proper vetting, and there are now too many to squeeze into the vetting process, so they're arresting them. And again, by law, that means families get split up. Most would agree that's not really workable in the short or long term. Critics say family separation is absolutely not the answer, but for the moment, there's no alternative circumstance that also answers Trump's long-standing pledge to tighten the border, which, let's not forget, helped get him elected president. Adrian.
Absolutely. Okay, Paul, thanks very much. As you heard in Paul's story, Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, in a press conference in the White House, was asked directly for her thoughts of the stories emerging from Texas. Here is more of what she said, for the record, arguing the kids are properly cared for.
10,000 of those currently in custody were sent by their parents with strangers to undertake a completely dangerous and deadly travel alone. We now care for them. We have high standards. We give them meals. We give them education. We give them medical care. There's videos. There's TVs. I visited the detention centers myself.
For the hundreds that we have seen, perhaps up to 2,000, are there any examples of child abuse, you believe? And how could this not be child abuse for the people who are taken from their parents? Not the ones who are sent here with their parents' blessing with a smuggler, and the people who are taken from their parents.
Unfortunately, I'm not in any position to deal with, hearsay stories. If someone has a specific allegation, as I always do when I testify, I ask that they provide that information to the Department of Homeland Security. We will look into it. Of course, we do not want any situation where a child is not completely adequately taken care of.